tragic accident or premeditated murder.
The father says he forgot to take the boy to daycare.
And you're going to tell me that after 7 hours, he did not smell that baby in the car?
Up to 6 different conversations with different women.
Charged with murder and second-degree child cruelty.
His exposed penis, erect penis being sent.
He wanted to live a child-free life.
He was yelling, he was hollering, he was screaming.
For leaving Cooper in a hot car for several hours.
We believe the evidence has shown much more than that,
or something more sinister.
If the prosecutors are right, this is a portrait of pure evil. 33-year-old web designer Justin Ross Harris is charged with murdering his own 22-month-old son, Cooper Harris, by leaving the precious toddler trapped inside a sweltering SUV. The boy's father told cops he took Cooper to breakfast and then drove about 5 minutes to work, and that during that short drive, forgot he had the boy tightly strapped into his rear-facing child car seat. The dad then went into his office for hours. But just hours ago, stunning secrets emerged of his double life. Nobody, not even Harris's own brother, knew anything about it in some of the most sick and twisted testimony, frankly, I've ever heard in all my years covering court cases. Cops say Harris was sexting with as many as 6 different women while his precious, innocent toddler was dying a horrible death inside his boiling hot car. Listen.
He was having up to 6 different conversations with different women. It appeared from the messages from Kik mostly, which is a messaging service.
Of what nature were they?
The most common term would be sexting.
Were photos being sent back and forth between these women and the defendant during this day while the child's out in the car?
Yes, there were photos of his exposed penis, erect penis being sent. There were also photos of women's breasts being sent back to him.
But the shockers don't stop there. Cops say Harris acted very bizarrely on the day his son died, like not showing an ounce of emotion during questioning and some truly jaw-dropping comments that have police convinced little Cooper's death was a cold-blooded, premeditated murder on his dad's part. What do you think? Call me, 1-877-JDM says. And also join me on Facebook, 1-877-586-7297. Our Lines Den expert panel is fired up and ready to debate. But first, out to HLN senior producer Natisha Lance. You were sitting inside the courtroom today, this packed courtroom, during this unbelievable testimony. In our newsroom, while we're watching and transcribing, there was like, oh, gasps. Tell us about the courtroom's reaction when Harris's alleged sexting while his son is dying was revealed.
Well, Jane, first of all, the courtroom was full. There were people standing in the back of the courtroom, all around the back, lined up against the wall. But when that information came out about the sexting, there was an audible gasp in the courtroom. And I happened to be sitting in front of Justin Ross Harris's mother and his father, and Leanna Harris also in that same row behind me. And there was a gasp from his mother. It was very obvious that she had not heard this information before. Leanna, on the other hand, she had very few reactions during the entire hearing, but she was looking down. She went between looking down or looking forward and just a blank stare gaze, not looking necessarily at anything, but just a blank stare. And Justin Harris, on the other hand, was sitting there also with a blank look on his face, no reaction to the sexting, but it was pretty obvious, Jane. You could feel the weight in the room just change and the energy change.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, is the wife of this defendant, the mother of this dead child, and we can show her again, was she chewing gum during all of this?
She was chewing gum, Jane, during all of this. And that may have been to combat with some stress that she was going through. But on both sides of her, it appeared one woman next to her was her mother. Another one was a friend. She was holding hands with both of them at different points throughout the whole hearing. And again, as I said, she was looking down and she was looking up. The only time where she appeared to get emotional is when the character witnesses came forward to talk about the way that Justin Harris loved his son so much and that he was a great father. And then you saw her wipe her eyes just a little bit. But other than that, very little emotion. The people sitting around her, though, a lot of emotion from them.